All right, we're back. And this time our episode is coming from Tokyo, Japan. I'm actually in a town called Shimokitazawa, which is in the Tokyo area. And it's a little windy, it's hot. I'm by a train station. And so, the quality may be a little bit different than you're used to, but hopefully it's good enough that you can hear me well. Last week I pre-recorded the episodes and, so kind of missed on the real-time kind of reaction to what was going on. And, everything has a chance of being global now. So whatever's going on in the U.S., it's kind of hard to escape it. But, boy, what a week. Before I get into that, man, it has been like a tropical jungle here. It's the middle of September. I think it's been about upper 80s or 90 degrees Fahrenheit, mid 30s Celsius every day with intermittent rain. So imagine the perfect place for a mosquito to to thrive. That's what it's been like. I've been packing a shirt everywhere I go just to change out of it, but it has been a wonderful, meaningful trip, taking care of some personal business and other business, but of course having fun along the way, which is my commitment to myself after I turned 50. I said, I'm going to turn up the fun dial in every way that I can, bring joy and fun to as much fun. And I don't mean frivolous fun. I just mean making sure that I'm intentionally having fun with everything that I can do. Certainly life has plenty of things in it that are not fun by design, but might as well enjoy ourselves along the way. So listen, I hope you're well. And again, happy Monday. We're kicking off another week. This is not a political daily journal. And at the same time, I've just been reflecting on this topic of estrangement. What happens when we become estranged from one another? And, it leads to really bad outcomes, dehumanization, violence, and at a minimum, deep loneliness that is destructive. And it's not just destructive to the individual. And I think that, one of the things that I think more and more people are really starting to wake up to is there is no demarcation line between our businesses and our personal life and our society. It's all the same pool. It's all, it's our garden. And that's really been on my mind. So along with infusing fun and joy and connection and everything that I do, business-wise and everything else, I'm feeling a deep calling to, do my little part in the universe to help kind of start shifting the way that we think about business's role. And growing up, it was always like, don't talk about politics and religion in a business context. And by and large, that's true. And I think that still holds true for the most part. At the same time, I'm also reflecting on the unique role that businesses play in feeding the broader culture, that making the garden healthy in which the business operates. That is a direct incentive for our businesses, large, medium, and small, to build great teams that know how to function, and in so doing, nurture individuals and leaders who will go out in society and apply what they've learned in the office, in their communities, in their school boards, and if they decide to run for office, in that capacity as well. So, I think my big learning for today, I'm kind of rambling, but I got out of the country, and I don't know about you, but, thinking a lot about the role of travel and getting perspective on, wherever it is that you live full time. And I used to think when I was younger that seeing new things was what it was. Seeing other cultures, being around people who don't play by the exact same rules, just shifting your focus. And that certainly has its place. But the thing that I'm reflecting on the most right now is that it's not so much the difference in culture and food, and those are all exciting things, and it's great to learn that, and it has a role. But the biggest shift mentally is getting out of the atmosphere that you're accustomed to. Because when I'm out of the atmosphere, I can still access it through various media or whatever, but it's more what we might call attenuated connection. And I'm not as dialed in, and my routine is disrupted, and it's given me great time to think and not necessarily meditate in the traditional way, but just go inside and start thinking about, outside of my normal environment, what is important to me? What is important from my point of view to be thinking about? And I'll give you just one example before I close. What role should social media play in my individual life so that I have the best chance to thrive emotionally, business-wise? And I can tell you the answer is going to be less social media, not more. Less of it. Social media is, unfortunately, and I'm thinking specifically about Facebook first and foremost, but some of the other platforms too, most of them, it's a synthetic information environment that creates very real and tangible results that are not good. And so being over here, one of the biggest takeaways I've got is that I want to be doing less of that and more of the good stuff. And so I'm going to leave you with that and meet up with a friend for coffee and have a real human-to-human connection and see where we go from there. In the meantime, I wish you all the best. Be good to yourself and others, and we'll check in tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.